In this tutorial, we'll cover how to search for intronic variants. I'll start by typing in my gene and variant using the cDNA nomenclature. Mastermind is recognizing my input two ways. The first is exactly how I've entered it as a cDNA change, and the second is as a splice donor variant, indicated here as S974SD, which is the splice donor adjacent to serine 974. We'll talk about the differences between these two shortly, but for now, I'll launch the search as the cDNA. Because our goal is to provide a maximally sensitive result, Mastermind returns articles that mention not only the exact cDNA match that's in the search bar, but for this example, all published variants in the splice donor site, which are at positions +1 and +2 from the exon. Exact nucleotide level matches are always prioritized in the articles list and are designated with this crosshair symbol. Once I click on an article with the symbol, I can scan through the full text matches to find where the variant is being mentioned. Using this dropdown, I can opt to show variants only, making it even easier to find those matches. I can also use these up and down arrows to navigate through the list of articles. Further down on the list, I'll eventually see some papers without the crosshair symbol. Papers without the icon mention a splice donor variant, but not the exact +1 G to A change that's in our search bar. In this paper, for example, the variant mentioned is at the +2 position. In this paper, the variant mentioned is at the same position, +1, but it's a different change, G to T instead of G to A. Mastermind treats this splice donor site, in this case designated S974SD, as a group or bucket of variants, which is why articles are being returned for any variant that falls into this SD category. Exact matches are designated with the crosshair symbol, and those articles will always appear at the top of the list. If you're looking for evidence specifically about your exact cDNA change, you won't expect to find them in the articles that don't have the crosshair symbol. This ability to identify and prioritize exact nucleotide matches is the reason to launch the search as a cDNA change versus the other nomenclature that appeared in the search bar, S974SD. When a search is performed using the splice donor nomenclature, the user is not declaring a specific nucleotide change, and so none of the articles will be tagged with the crosshair symbol. One benefit of searching for the variant with the splice donor nomenclature is that you're able to see all the different ClinVar entries that correspond to this splice donor site by clicking this arrow. These are the examples of the different cDNA changes that all fall into the bucket Mastermind calls S974SD for this gene. The ability to identify all the articles that mention any variant in the splice donor bucket can be especially helpful when there are few or zero articles that mention your exact cDNA change. You may be able to extrapolate information about your variant of interest by looking at variants in the same splice donor site. Mastermind uses the same bucketing system for variants in the splice acceptor site, splice region, and introns. You'll see various shorthand representations of these types of non-coding variants within the variants list. These include SA, SRA, SRD, and INT. A comprehensive list of the different shorthands can be found in our FAQs.